Hello everyone. Good morning.
One sec.
Good morning.
Good morning everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Shall we start our class?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So in our last class, we were trying to understand NaCl, correct? What we did in our last class, we created. Let me first show you that screenshot, then you'll understand. Okay. So I think I have taken the screenshot of the diagram. Let me just get that one. Taking a screenshot for that. Not sure. Just one second, guys. Just give me 1 minute. Let me get the screenshot of that so that I can explain that one clearly. Yeah, guys, can you see my screen now? Everyone? One second, let me unmute you. Yeah. Now please respond.
Yes,
can
sir.
you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes,
So,
sir.
so this you remember, right? What you can see on my screen,
Yes, yes.
right? Okay, let me
Yeah.
give a quick recap. Now, last class, before that itself, we kept our VPC ready. So this setup already, till here, VPC setup. Then what we did in our last, be in mute, guys. We just be in mute. So, yeah. Okay. So in our last class, what we did first, we created one VP, that's NaCl, that we attach it to public subnet. So as in we attach, immediately we lost the connection. For SH ports, HTTP ports, for all those ports, we lost connection. Okay. Why? Because NaCl, we are blocking ports at NaCl level, subnet level. Okay, you can say NaCl is like a door at your subnet level. Then what we did, we opened ports, both incoming as well as outbound, both, because NaCl is stateless. Security groups are stateful, NaCl is stateless. Stateful means outbound ports will be opened automatically, but stateless means explicitly you have to open outbound, explicitly. That is important. Okay, so NaCl comes under stateless. So that's why we opened outbound. Okay, both inbound as well as outbound for both SSH, HTTP, SSH to myself, HTTP to all. Okay, then after that, we opened ephemeral ports also. These are kind of, standby ports that we are authorizing AWS to use any random port to replace with existing block port. It's kind of, safety purpose, standby. Okay, so that, if at all any blockage happens by by a hacker of any main port, then AWS will randomly replace, randomly take one port from this one, it will replace existing block port so that our communication won't get hampered, right? So that's what we have seen in our last. That means in our last class, I created NaCl and I have attached it. That's it. We did not even discuss how we are going to provide security with NACL. So that we are going to see in today's class. That's why before we start today's class, I kept this entire setup ready. You can see here, just 50 minutes back, I created this entire infrastructure. See, VPC is ready. Subnets are ready. Root table is ready. NAT gateway is ready. Internet gateway is ready. And we have all three instances ready. Before we start our class, for 15 to 20 minutes back, I created this entire infrastructure. Okay, now let me take public IP of web server. Web server public IP, and let me paste here. You can say I can see web content. That means that ports already we opened. We opened it. See, you can see stateful stateless. I have opened it both SH and HTTP level, inbound, outbound, as well as ephemeral ports. Fine. Now let me take you to NAC. You can see NAC. See, these are NACL which has been created by me, and I have attached this one to public subnet. You can see, right? 10.0.1 Now these are inbound tools. SH to myself, HTTP to all, ephemeral ports. I have opened that thing we did in outbound as you can see. SH to myself, HTTP to all, and ephemeral ports. Okay, fine. So I hope you understood till here before I actually start today's class. Guys, please respond. You understood till here?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, fine. So now let's see how we are going to deal with NACL. Let me read this one. Inbound. Okay, so you can see public NACL. Now let me edit inbound rules. Yeah. See, SSH I have opened to only myself. Right. Just give me 1 minute. Getting out of background noise. Okay, fine. Yeah. See here. SSH, I have given 100 number and I have opened to only myself. Right? HTTP 200 number. HTTP I have opened to all. Correct? That means in this diagram, see at subnet level, I have opened SH to myself, HTTP to all. That means whatever servers you launch inside this subnet, for all those servers, at subnet level, I have access. Myself, I have access to SH. Everyone can access to HTTP at subnet level. Correct? Okay. Now what I do here, I'll add one more new rule. You can say I'm adding one new rule. Add new rule. You can give any number. What I'll do, I'll use some, 201. I'm giving a rule number 201. Any number you can use, that is up to you guys. Okay, here what I'll do, I'll open HTTP. Where is this? HTTP. You can see. But instead of allow, I'm going to make it deny. You can see. Deny. Right? 201 HTTP deny. Okay, let me save it. Do the same thing at outbound also. Then I will explain. Okay. Edit outbound. Add 201 HTTP deny. Save. Okay, now let's try to understand what is happening here. Observe carefully here. 200 HTTP allow. That means to the subnet through HTTP allow. Anyone can access through the subnet HTTP port. 201 HTTP, same HTTP, just by changing the rule number, I'm giving deny. Okay. Now, what does this mean, guys? Whether it is allow or deny anyone? Allow or deny. That means whether I'm allowing or denying. What is the actual meaning here?
Allow,
Allow. Why it is allow?
because it takes the lowest number priority first. Give the priority first to the lowest number.
Okay. Any other idea from anyone?
Default behavior is already deny. But why can't give deny?
I know. My question is whether it is allow or deny now. I'm opening one port, at the same port I'm blocking by adding just one more rule.
Deny.
Deny. Okay. Any other idea from anyone?
Some will be allowed and some will be denied.
Okay. Let me explain. Just one second. Let me explain. See. This is subnetted, right? Inside web server is there. Many servers are there. Okay, at subnet level, HTTP. One rule number I have an HTTP port, allow. Just by adding one more rule, the same port I'm denying. So what does it mean? Whether it is allow or deny, which one it takes? So remember, guys, always it gives priority to the lowest number rule. Lowest number will have highest priority. Lowest number will have highest priority. Okay. So here, rules will be evaluated in a sequence order. That means first we'll come to 200. Okay, 200 allow. Allow means allow. That's it. 201, it is deny, right? Same HTTP, it won't even consider it. Small number rule will have more priority. Lowest number will have highest priority. That you have to remember. Okay, so that's why now I can able to access website. I can, because here right now HTTP port we are allowing, right? Now say now we can access it, will work. You can see, hit refresh. You can see it is working fine, no problem at all. But what if I make here instead of 201? You can see these are 201, right? Let me make it as 199. 199. Save, and right, do the same changes at outbound also. Here 199. Save. Let me show you inbound. Yeah. Now let's verify. 199 HTTP deny, 200 HTTP allow. What I said lowest number rule will have highest priority. Correct. That means in this case, in subnet, actually, we are blocking the HTTP port. You can see 199 deny. After that, if you give big number, the big rule, that won't even consider. Small number rule will have highest priority. That's why now it is deny. It refresh. So it is not working. Focus not on here. Focus here. You can see it is being loaded. You can see it's being loaded. Okay, correct? It's not working, right? Correct or not? So that is how it works. Small number rule will have high priority. Okay. So this is how NSL works on this concept. Now, by using this, how are we going to provide security? Assume that there are some hackers are there. Assume that 3 hackers are there. Hackers means what actually we do in companies, we maintain ethical hacking team. I'm repeating, in companies, we maintain ethical hacking team. So this ethical hacking team, what they do, they scan all hackers' IP addresses. Okay. And they give list of IP addresses to you. They give list of IP addresses. Assume that today you got a list from ethical hacking team, you got some 3 IP addresses. That they said that, hey, Sai, please block these 3 IP addresses. Block 3 IP addresses. For what are the ports, like either HTTP or SH, that's up to, they will tell you. So please block these ports at HTTP. Assume that they have given 3 IP addresses, and they said to block IP addresses at NACL level, so that if you block, they cannot access my subnet. They can't even access, they can't even go inside my subnet through HTTP if you block at HTTP level, right? So how are you going to do it? You need to open HTTP to all except those 3, correct? Except those 3, everyone should be able to access your subnet. So what you do, allow number you are giving 200, right? You add any small number to 200, any small number. And you, for example, assume that I myself, I'm a hacker. Assume that myself hacker. So what I do, I'm giving small number, either see 1 to 199, 1 to 199. That means any small number, for 200, any small number of 200. So 1 to 199. You take any number here, assume that myself, I'm a hacker. So I'm giving my IP address. You can see 199 HTTP denied to only myself, right? Save and do the same thing at outbound also. 199. See here, deny. Done. Now observe carefully. See here. Now what actually happens here? HTTP first smallest number rule will be evaluated. 199 denied to only myself. And 200 HTTP allowed to all. That means it allows everyone to access through HTTP except me. Except me. So that means except me, everyone can access my website except me. Okay, let me show you. See guys, this is the IP address. I'm going to paste in your chartboard. So I have pasted in your chartboard that IP address. Now you try to access websites here. When I hit refresh, for me it is not working. See, press enter. For me it is not working. But for you, every one of you it will work. Every one of you can access my website. Try and let me know. I'm waiting for your response. Or try and let me know whether it is working fine for you or not.
It is working.
It is
Yes,
working.
It is working fine, but for
Yes.
me, it won't work fine. You can see it is not working. Let me try in a new window. It won't work. But if I do it in my mobile, it will work because that access has been revoked only for this particular laptop. You can see it is not working, but for every one of you, it will work. So like that, if you want to block any IP addresses, okay, when you get the list from ethical hacking team, those IP addresses you have to add. For example, if they said, "Sai, please block this IP address for SH port," then what you do? SH 100 allow to myself, right? Allow to myself. Okay, you add any number. Anyways, it is only myself, right? Okay, you add any number. You add any number and you give that hacker's IP and you make it deny. Okay, so for me it is allow, for him it is deny. That means they can't access my machine through SH. Okay, even though we did not open the port, but one more layer of security. But our system admin, they can able to access. Okay, so that's what happens, right? Sometimes, Government of India, they provide some list of phone numbers, correct? And they say that, hey, please don't attend calls from these numbers. Okay, list of numbers. They say that, please don't attend calls from these numbers because these are, fake numbers. They try to get information from your bank and all. They try to steal some money. Correct or not? It could be any manner. Correct or not, guys? Please respond. We get right sometimes these numbers.
Yes.
Correct or not? In notifications,
Yes,
in news and all, they
Yes,
show
sir.
that please don't attend calls from these numbers. These are some danger numbers starting from so-and-so country code. Correct or not? Correct or not? Right.
Yes, yes.
So in
Yes,
the
yes,
same
yes.
manner, our ethical hacking team, they give list of IP addresses. Those IP addresses you need to block at NACL level. Okay, that is your task. That is a NACL level. That means here, see the layers of security. See, this is the best security that we are providing. Okay. One more thing here. Public NACL level is fine. You don't need to provide at private NACL level. You don't need to create any more NACL. You need not attach to private subnet. No need, because see, when two doors are here like this connected, if I close front room's door, they can't even go inside second room also, right? Correct? We don't need any extra door separately here. No need. Because way of entering, way by using which you enter into this one through like this only. So there is no need to have any door here, because anyways we have kept door here. That's why there is no private NACL here. Actually, no need. Got it? So that is how we are providing security at subnet level, even though you open ports at instance level. If at all you want to block any IP address, that you can do only at NACL level, but not at subnet level, security group level. See here. If you want to block any IP address, that you can do only here at NAC level, but not at security. At security group level, you don't get any option to deny. You can see, let me show you. This is NACL. You are getting an option, allow or deny, right? But at security group level, let me take you to any security here. You won't get any option to deny. Whatever ports you open, those are kind of allow only. See here, edit. You see, are you getting any option, deny something? No, you can't deny any IP address at security group level, but you can do that at NAC level because you are getting allow or deny option. That is how we are providing security. That's all. Suppose assume that from in this class, some 3 of you are hackers. Just I'm giving an example. 3 of you are hackers. I don't want you should access my website. Okay. Then what I do? This HTTP 200 all. I add any small number 1 to 199. Okay, and I keep your IP address and I make it as deny. That means you can't access, but everyone can access. That is so. And you can't give 2 rules with the same number, guys. 2. If you give, so this also 200, it will throw error. You can't even save changes. Okay, that's all. You might be thinking, Sai, every time they connect to different network, IP will be different, public IP. So what hacker, if he tries with some other laptop with a different IP, he can do that, guys. That anyways, that we can't stop. But we try our best to block IP addresses, okay, which belongs to hackers if we get that information. That's what these ethical hackers they do. Same thing. See, Government of India released some phone numbers. Okay, so they said that, hey, please don't attend calls on this one. So for that guy, the bad guy, for him, it's very easy to take one new SIM to make a call, correct? But actually, we are trying our best to block the things to provide security. So these also kind of same thing. Got it? So that's what these ethical hacking team they do. They always keep on scanning, monitoring these hackers and all. They provide list of IP addresses. Okay, that we need to block. This is one of the tasks that we do every day. Got it? Okay. So I hope till here you understood, because now I'm going to enter into main theoretical concept, because NACL theory concept is very, very important. Guys, you understood the purpose of NACL? If you want to block any IP address, that you can block at NACL level. That is the purpose.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Now let me show you a PPT which I'm having. Yeah, here. Okay. You can see IP address part we discussed in VPC class. Right. See, initially we talked about network, then protocol, then IP address, all these things. Now, this I'm going to share with you today. VPC, virtual private cloud. VPC is the virtual data center in cloud. Correct. This is a virtual data center in cloud. Whatever you can see. Correct. This is my data center means. Data center means it's a place having many servers. It's a group of servers. Could be web server, database servers. Okay, if they are in my location, that is what we call physical data center. But they are in AWS, that too inside VPC. So for me it is virtual. Physical versus virtual. Physical you can see, you can touch, you can use it. Virtual you cannot see, you cannot touch, but still you can use it. So this VPC is my virtual data center. Correct? It is a virtual data center. VPC lets you provision a logically isolated section of Amazon AWS cloud. See, out of big AWS cloud, in that we are creating our own VPC. That means I'm isolating my VPC from AWS VPC. Logically, I'm isolating, logically. Got it? Logically means by giving different IP range. That is all. So logically isolated section of main AWS cloud, where you can launch AWS resources in a virtual network that you define. That means I define. Where I can launch my AWS resources in a virtual network means that what this VPC is different network, right? That you define. I define whatever IP address. Say IP range we are defining. Okay, internet gateway, route tables, connection, everything we are defining. Okay, that is what VPC. So these are diagram, but you don't remember this one. You remember only the one which I have shown you, right here. This you remember this one only. This is easy to understand. Now, VPC consists of internet gateways, route tables, NACLs, and subnets. Correct? In our VPC, we create internet gateways, route tables, NACLs, and subnets. All these things we have created, right? And security groups also, because security groups are attached to instances which are inside VPC at the end of the day. Correct or not? So VPC consists of all these things. Here, remember one thing. Subnet you can create in one. See, one subnet equal to one availability zone. One subnet should be in one availability zone. That's why while creating subnet, it asks for availability zone. Correct. So one subnet should be in one availability zone. But in one availability zone, you can have any number of subnets, because right, in the Singapore region, we have total 3 availability zones. Okay, you can have any number of subnets in one availability zone, but you can't have one subnet across multiple availability zones. Okay, like see, simple. This is one availability zone. In this, you can have any number of subnets. You can see subnet 1, subnet 2, subnet 3. This is acceptable, but you can't have here how this subnet. Half of the subnet I want to have in one availability zone, half of the subnet in another availability zone. That is not possible. Okay, one subnet should be in one availability zone, but in one availability zone, you can have any number of subnets. You can't span one subnet across multiple availability zones. This is not possible. In the same manner, one VPC equal to one region. One VPC equal to one region. You can't have, see, I want to create a VPC in 2 regions. No, that is not possible. You can't span one VPC in multiple regions. But in one region, you can create any number of VPCs. Correct? See, here, we created one VPC. In the same region, you can have one more VPC. But you can't have, like, hey, I want half of the VPC in Singapore, half of the VPC in Sydney. No, that is not possible. Remember that. Security groups are stateful, that already you know. Right? Stateful. NACL starts stateless. Correct? Stateful means outbound ports will be opened automatically. But stateless means you need to explicitly open outbound ports. Explicit. Got it? So NACL is coming under stateless. That already we have seen in this diagram. You can see this here. Right? Now here, next one. Very, very important, guys. From here, points are very, very important. Your VPC automatically comes with a default NACL. Guys, I want you to focus. Very, very important point. These are. Your VPC automatically comes with a default NACL. By default, it allows all inbound and outbound traffic. That means, observe carefully here. This is an NACL which has been created by me. That I created and I attach it to my public subnet. You can see this NACL I created, attach it to public subnet. But you remember, when you create VPC, by default you'll get one route table, one NACL also, that time I said. So the default NACL which got created is this. This will be created by default. That means when you create an VPC, by default you'll get one NACL. This is the one, right? So that means what actually happened? What actually happens, I'll tell you. This is VPC. I created 2 subnets. I said, right, by default, there will be one NACL, correct? Your VPC automatically comes with a default NACL, right? That means before we knew about NACL, there was an NaCl. Before we knew about NaCl, yes, there was an NaCl. Okay. Okay, default NaCl. And by default, it allows all inbound and outbound. That means, see, what actually happens? By default, there will be one NaCl. Okay, in VPC. Okay, by default. And you create any number of subnets. By default, that NaCl will be connected automatically. Suppose, you remember, earlier we created two subnets, two. Okay, you will create hundreds of subnets. That default NaCl will be connected to all those subnets by default. That's a default NaCl behavior. See, your VPC automatically comes with a default NaCl. Yeah, that is this one. That will be there by default. And it will be connected to all subnets by default. You create any subnet. First of all, that will be connected to default NaCl. And that means before we knew about NaCl, that time itself, that NaCl was connected to the subnet. Still, we were able to access website that time. Still, we were able to access before we knew about NaCl. Correct? Correct or not? So that means what actually happened that time? By default, it allows all inbound and outbound rules. You can see default NaCl, it allowed all inbound and outbound rules. The ports are open by default, inbound and outbound. That's why before we knew about NaCl, we were able to access website, we were able to SH and all. Even though that subnet got attached with NaCl. Why? Because by default, it allows all inbound and outbound. That's a default behavior of default NaCl. Correct? Default behavior. But later on, what we did, see here. Later on, these are two subnets. Default one. This anyways got connected. Correct? Later on, what we did, you can create custom NaCl. Right. We created our own NaCl later on. Correct? See, that you can see here. Yeah. This is what we created in our last class. Okay. After creating what we did, see, we attached this one to public subnet. Correct? That custom NaCl. What actually happened? When you attach to public subnet, immediately default NaCl got disconnected immediately, automatically. That will be disconnected. Why this? I will explain just in a minute. So that got disconnected. That means my custom NaCl, pink color one, attached with public subnet, default NaCl attached with private subnet. And see, you remember, the moment we attached NaCl, we lost all connections. The moment we attached custom NaCl, we lost all connections. Correct? We were neither, able to SH, neither, nor able to HTTP. Through HTTP, we could not able to access, right? So, why? Because each custom NaCl denies all inbound and outbound rules. So, custom NaCl denies all rules by default. That's why after attaching custom NaCl, you remember, then we opened ports. That time only we were able to access website, right? So custom NaCl blocks all ports, denies. Until you add a rule, this is very, very important. Until later on we added rules, right? We opened SH to myself, HTTP to all, ephemeral ports and all, right? That's until you add a rule. That means simple difference. Default NaCl will be connected to all subnets by default. When you create any subnet, by default, it opens all ports, incoming or outgoing. That's a default behavior. When you create custom NaCl and when you attach to any subnet, by default, from that subnet, default NaCl will be disconnected automatically. Custom NaCl blocks all ports. It blocks until you add any rule. That's what we did. We added rules. Got it? Guys, please respond. You understood these points?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Now coming to next point. Yeah, very, very important point. All are important. Okay. See, each subnet in your VPC must be associated with an NaCl. Must be. That's why when you create any subnet, by default that will be connected to default. That's why. Why? Because see, each subnet in your VPC must be associated That's why you create any subnet that will be attached to default at the beginning. If you attach any custom NACL, the default one will detach. But see, here you observe one thing. There won't be any subnet without NACL. Subnet should have an NACL, that is mandatory. When it's a default or custom, that's a different matter, but it should have an NACL. Okay, fine. So each subnet in your VPC must be associated with an NACL. Fine, that you know. If you don't explicitly associate a subnet with an NACL, the subnet is automatically associated with the default NACL. That means it's saying that if you don't explicitly associate subnet with any NACL, by default that will be connected to default. That self-explanatory. Okay. That means if you attach explicitly a subnet with any NACL, okay, that will have that NACL. If you don't attach, that will be anyways that will be connected to default NACL. That's the meaning of this point. Yeah, here. You can associate NACL with multiple subnets. Let me give one simple example. Yeah, let me give one simple example, guys. Okay. In this class, some of you are my DevOps students, right? Correct or not? Please respond, guys. Right? Some of you are my DevOps students.
Yes,
Either finished batch or currently running batch, right? Okay. So yeah, let me take this particular example. See, you are learning, this is me. Okay. You are learning DevOps from me, AWS from me. Okay. You are learning DevOps from me, AWS also from me. Is there any knowledge conflict? No, there won't be any knowledge conflict. Because DevOps is different course, AWS is different course. So there won't be any knowledge conflict. Correct? Let's take one more example. You already learned AWS from someone else. You already learned AWS from someone else, some other faculty. And the same AWS you are learning from now. Okay, you already learned AWS from someone else, some other faculty. And the same AWS you are learning from now. Now here, there will be a knowledge conflict. Here I'm not saying that who is teaching better. Here the focus is other faculty way of explaining might be different or the same topic. My way of explaining, giving examples might be different. Then you will get confused. Hey, whether we should listen to Mr. Sai or some other faculty. Correct or not? There could be knowledge conflict. Correct or not, guys? Please respond. Right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So here, I'm repeating example. You are learning both courses from me. There won't be any knowledge conflict. But you are learning the course from other faculty. The same course you are learning from me. There will be knowledge conflict. Right? You don't know, right, whether to listen that other faculty or me. Here also same thing. See, same thing. That is, one NACL you are attaching to two subnets. No problem at all. Because whatever rules you allow, that will be allowed in both subnets. Whatever you deny, that will be denied in both subnets. No problem at all. But you can't have two NACLs attached to same subnet. Here, there is a conflict. Because see, one rule you are allowing in NACL A, the same rule you are denying in NACL B. So whether this subnet X should listen to A or B, it's a knowledge conflict, right? Correct. That means here, one NACL you can attach to any number of subnets. There won't be any problem. But you can't have two NACLs attached to same subnet. There will be a problem here. Okay, there's a conflict of rules. Because simple example, you are allowing SH at NACL A, the same thing you are blocking at B. So whether the subnet should listen to A or not, whether it is allow or not, correct or not. So that's a conflict. Guys, you understood this example? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now let me explain this particular point. You can associate a NACL with multiple subnets. You can see, you can associate an NACL with multiple subnets. No problem at all. However, a subnet can be associated with only one NACL at a time. One subnet should have only one NACL at a time. See here, this subnet is having two NACLs. This is not acceptable. One subnet should be associated with only one NACL at a time. At a time, only one. If you are attaching one more, previous will be disconnected automatically. That's why, see, when you associate a NACL with a subnet, the previous association will be removed. That's what actually happened. You can see. when we created two subnets, that time both got connected to default. But later on, what we did, we created custom that we attach to public. So here rule is going against, correct? One subnet is having two NACLs, which one to listen? That's why automatically default one got disconnected. Automatically. See, that's what. When you associate NACL with subnet, the previous association will be removed. That means in our case, in our scenario, we attached custom NACL with public subnet. That means by now, if our theory, if our concept is correct, private NACL subnet should be connected to default NACL, correct? Private subnet should be attached with the default NACL, correct? That should be the case. Let's say verify whether that is the case or not. See, these are default NACL should be connected to private subnet. Yes, you can see. Correct? See, associated with. Earlier, this particular subnet associated with both subnets. But since we attached our NACL with public, that's why default NACL got disconnected. And right now, it is associated with only private subnet. Okay. Just to avoid confusion, let me give a name. There's a private NACL. Private NACL. Okay, these are default one private NACL that connected to private sub. That is how it works. Understood? Even if you click on edit, you can see. Go inside this. Edit. Sorry. Subnet association. You can see subnet associations. Edit. You can't even select. You can see. You can't even select. Sorry, this one. Okay, this one. You are selecting here. This already attached. It's already attached. Like that. You can select this one means what? When you connect this one, the default will be disconnected. That's it. So here, this already connected. That is simple concept. You remember that, example. One subnet could have, one subnet should have only one NACL at a time. One NACL can be connected to any number of subnets. There is no limit. Okay. NACL contains numbered list of routes that is evaluated in an order starting with lowest number. I told you that NACL number list is very, very important. Rule numbers. Okay, rule numbers, that is very, very important. And rules are evaluated in an order. Smallest rule will have highest priority, starting with lowest number. Okay, number is very, very important. Okay, here rule numbers plays a crucial role in NACL. But that is not the case with subnet. You can see, the security group. In security group, whatever port you add, that is opened. There is no numbered list. But here, numbered list is very, very important. Let me show you. That's why here, you remember, let me take that NACL, this one. That's why here I have given in a 100 series. Why I'm giving 100 series? See, if I give 100, SH2, LO2, okay, or else, see why I'm giving 100 series, so that you can add 99 extra rules before that 100. That's the reason I'm giving 100. Okay, you can give 500 also. See, suppose if I give 500, okay, you are allowing HTTP to all. If you want to block, you have 499 entries you can add before that. Like that. Just to have that kind of flexibility, I'm giving in a 100 series. Okay, whatever, you can give 10 series also. Suppose, assume that, see, I'm giving rule number 1 here. Assume that I'm giving 1. HTTP to allow to all. Suppose if I want to block any IP addresses, can I block? No, because see, I have to give those 5 rule numbers. Those should be smaller than 1. 1 itself is small, right? How can you give in smaller number? You can't give in points, right? That's why, just to have that flexibility so that I can add new entries in between, That's why I'm giving some 100 or 200, 300. That's up to you. If I give 100, so before that I can add 1 to 99. Those many rules I can add, right? That's why to have flexibility to add some new entries in between, I'm giving in 100 series. Okay. So guys, I hope you understood why I'm giving in a 100 series. Understood or not, guys? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay, fine. Now coming to the next point. An NACL has separate inbound and outbound rules. Correct or not? Separate inbound and outbound. That's what stateless. And also, each rule could be either allow or deny. Correct? For every entry, they are giving either allow or deny. Correct? But that you won't find in security group level. That means if you want to block any IP address, that you can block only at NACL level, that you can't block at security group level. Because there you don't get any deny option. Correct? Whatever rule you add at security group, that is just allow. You can't explicitly deny one IP address. Got it? Okay. You just go through this video and try. Okay, suppose here, this is security group. This is security group. I want to block one IP address from accessing through HTTP. How can I block? See here, HTTP. Okay. Here you can allow only whatever. See, okay, my IP means I'm allowing to myself. Custom means whatever you give IP address that you are allowing. But I want to deny one IP, but you won't get deny option, right? Whatever entry you are adding, that is allow only. Correct or not? That is so. But that you can do at NAC level because here you have deny option. Remember that. Okay. Now coming to the differences between security group and NACL. This list you can get from official AWS website also. From there only I copied, cropped that one, I pasted here. Differences, security group and NACL. Security group operates at instance level, that you know. NACL operates at subnet level. Correct? It acts like a door at subnet level. Security group supports allow rules only. It supports allow only. But NACL supports both allow and deny. I have shown you that you will get deny option also, but that you won't get at security group level. Security groups are stateful. Okay, that means stateful means return traffic is automatically allowed. Okay, outbound ports are open by default. But NACLs are stateless. Return traffic unit explicitly allow. You need to open the ports explicitly. Okay, that's what stateless. Here we evaluate all rules before we decide whether to allow or not. That means whatever rules you add, right? Those are allow only. There is no number order sequence, no need. But here rules number order is very, very important. Smallest rule will have highest priority. Smallest rule will be evaluated first. Okay. Security groups, it applies to an instance, one instance, but NACL automatically applies to all instances in that subnet. Okay. These are elaborated explanation for that point. Got it? So that is the difference between NACLs and security. Got it? Fine. I hope you understood this one. Right? Every one of you. One second, let me unmute you. Guys, you understood the differences between these two?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir. Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, great.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Just 1 minute, let me have some water. Just 1 minute. Okay, fine. So you understood it here, right? Yeah, coming to next topic. Yeah, before we jump to next topic, now I'm going to explain the purpose of default things. I said, right? I said earlier that in VPC, you can see so many default things are there. You can see default VPC, okay, default VPC, default subnets, all those things, default things, so default route table, all those things are there. Now we'll talk about those default things. What is the purpose of the default things? Okay. Guys, you remember in our first class, okay, the class where we discussed web server. where we discussed web server. That time we launched one web server and we were able to access our web server. Before that, we accessed one Windows instance, Linux instance. That time we did not know anything about VPC, correct? That time I did not take any name called VPC, right? That time we didn't even know anything about VPC. So what actually happened that time, backend? That time, blindly I launched one instance. Okay, let me show you the way I'm launching now. Launch instance, Amazon Linux or any Linux, any Windows also. Next, that time initial classes, that time we did not even touch this section. We did not even touch. So what actually happened that time? See, that means when we launched server, that server got launched in which VPC? Default VPC. Correct? That launched in default VPC. See, now I have created my VPC, that's why I launched in my VPC. That time that got launched in default. Okay, in default, how many subnets are there? 3. 1A, 1B, 1C. All are public or private subnets? Automation public AP. Enabled. And also that you can verify from here. See, these are default subnets. You take any subnet. Okay. Here, automation public AP. Yes. Here, for all default subnets, yes. This is my custom, these two last two, in which for public I have enabled, for private I did not enable. That means before I knew about VPC, that time itself, VPC was there, default. In that VPC, there were 3 subnets, 1A, 1B, and C. And public AP is already enabled, public AP by default. Okay. And what else? VPC dashboard. If you go here. Okay, here. Fine. One default VPC out of 2. 3 subnets out of 5. Remaining 2 are my custom. Okay. Then internet gateways. It is showing 2. Verify. See here, these are default internet gateway. Attach it to which VPC? Default VPC. That means that time default internet gateway was there. What about root tables? See, 2 root tables. One I have created. Okay, see. This is the one which I have created. Oh my God, lost network. Just 1 minute. Yeah, guys, am I audible? Please respond, guys. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
See,
Yes, sir.
yeah, fine, fine.
So,
Okay, fine. Now, so see, when we created our VPC, that time we got this default root table. Later on, we converted to NAT root table name, and we got this one by default, the one we selected. And after the one we selected, that I created. Before that, no, there was one default root table. No, see, you can see which is in default VPC. So what actually happened? This is root table, and this is connected to all the subnets. This is the actual setup. Okay, these are setup. That means all the other public subnets, they are getting internet, correct? And also, what about NACL? By default, you'll get one NACL for default VPC. You can see these are default NACL, which is there in default VPC, and which is connected to all 3 subnets. Correct? That means it's a default NACL. Let's take NACL. NACL connected to all this. But default NACL opens all ports. That's why it opened all ports. That means, so earlier when we launched our instance, either web server or a server, so randomly when you launch, it takes any one subnet out of the randomly. That's why we did not touch this section at the beginning of our class, right? So I assume that you launch one web server that got launched here. Yes, it is having public IP, private IP, because it's having its range, and it is getting internet, and even the NACL is there, ports are already open. That's why without knowing about NACL, VPC and all, we were able to access our website, right? And that time, there won't be any default NAT, default private subnet. So this setup is there by default. That means earlier in the beginning classes, without knowing about VPC, everything we did inside VPC only. That auto scaling, load balance, everything we did inside VPC. So which VPC? Default VPC. Default VPC. That's why you can see all these things are there. You can see your VPC. That means here in this list, if I go to VPC dashboard, here VPC dashboard. Out of these two, one is default VPC, 3 are default subnets, one is default route table, one default internet gateway. Okay, like that. One default NACL. Security groups got created when we launched it, sir. But NAT gateway is not default, that we created. That's, you can see only one that we created. Correct. So that's the purpose of default things. That means literally whatever you do inside AWS, in your account, that you are doing in one VPC. So whether that's a default or that you can choose. So in companies, what we do, everything we do in our own VPC, not default. Because now we know the things, right? That's it. Okay, that's the purpose of default things. Guys, you understood till here, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, that is all about VPC. VPC is not over yet. There are a few more topics that you can see, few more slides are there. Okay. And also don't think that after these slides, VPC is over. No. One more class is there for VPC. Tomorrow also we'll discuss these remaining topics. And after that, in all other services, we are going to include VPC. And in our project, VPC is going to play a major role. Got it? To understand those things, you should understand these classes. Got it? Fine. Yeah, that's it pretty much for today. After class, today I'm going to terminate all these things. Okay, deletion steps. Okay, deletion steps. Simple. What you do? You first delete NAT, then delete instances, then release elastic IP, then delete VPs. Okay, that anyways I'll do after this class. Okay, guys, that's it for today. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now.
Sai,
Hello, Sai.
yes.
Yes, please.
I have one doubt. In rule number NACL, what is the highest number which we can give? It's like
you can give. There is no limit.
The rule number.
There is no limit.
Any number I can give.
You can give whatever number that you want. There is no limit. Okay.
Hello, Sai.
But the concept you understood, right? How we give and all,
Yes,
that
yes,
is important.
Yes.
That is important.
Hello, Sai. You are giving SSH rule number as 100 and HTTP as 200, which means you can have 99 rules before the 200 for HTTP port.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
In that you already see 100 rule you are blocking for SH, right? So you don't use that rule. 1 to 99 and 101 to 199, like that, because the 100 is already blocked with SH, right? Like that.
Oh, that is where I'm confused. Okay.
As you understood today's class, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is the most confusing topic in this year. I tried my best to explain in a clear manner. Okay, because in companies, those who are working real time also still they get confused again. Okay, but there should not be any confusion. Because see, one thing you have to understand. Wherever confusion part is there, interviews, they will try to catch you that place only. If they ask easy question, anyone can answer. So that's why they ask questions on these topics. So here you should have much more clarity. So there that will be decided whether you get job or not. But that's why I want you to revise again and again. Yeah, go ahead, please.
A small doubt here.
Yes,
Here 99 rule number is here, 200 is there. So if you will put it here, allow instead of denying, then definitely it will allow the lowest number. But what about the...
No, I can't even understand your doubt. Please come again.
So in the rule number, let's say we have one lowest number, one is highest. For example, in the screen, 199 is there.
Oh.
Allow and deny. So here it is deny.
Okay, deny. It's
We'll
allow.
put it here instead of deny. We'll put here allow.
Here also?
Allow.
Oh, there is no use, right? Because see, anyways you are opening to all. In that explicitly you are mentioning one IP, you are opening to all. This one, no need, right?
Okay.
In this all, this also will come, right? Correct? Okay. If you make it allow. But if you deny, then accept this, it will be allowed to all. Okay?
No, but if suppose if you are putting allow also
here,
yeah, then
you can add, but it doesn't make any sense actually. No need. You can put, but it doesn't make any sense because already you are allowing to all, right? Here also you are allowing. You allow once or 100 times, allow means allow only, right? Correct.
But plus of security, like.
No. While allowing multiple times, what is the security? No, here allowing multiple times, it doesn't make any sense. Okay.
Sai, earlier this class, Sai?
Yeah, go ahead.
Earlier this class, you have mentioned 201 as the rule number for HTTP, and then you have denied that. But
yes.
This 300 is there, no?
But this is different, right? This you don't even consider. This is what? Ephemeral ports. This you don't even consider it. Got it?
Okay.
Yeah. Go through previous class. Ephemeral ports concept is completely different.
Sai, is it possible that we can have rule number same, say 100 for SSH and 100 for HTTP?
No. I said, right, that you can't have two same. See, if I give 200, so 200, both two rules are having same number. If you click on, so it will throw error. See?
But I thought the type is different. So
but
no. Take that
but still, no, it will not. You can see it is throwing an error, right?
Yeah, correct.
That's all.
And Sai, you said NSL is default open to all. Am I right?
Yeah, right.
And custom is like what we create.
Right,
so
correct.
You want to say that our web server, by default, even if we didn't open its HTTP port, it was open to everybody. It's HTTP.
Initially, in default VPC, yes, it open to all, right?
Initially. Default VPC, the big one.
Right. Yeah, right.
Okay. And then we applied that custom inside subnets.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, Sai.
Yes, please.
Yeah, you showed me right how to connect that Bastion server. We have to connect the DB server from Bastion server through mobile extern. Can you show me from the putty?
See, if you want to use putty, the main problem is copying the key is a problem in putty. Correct or not? That is a problem. So in putty, if you want to copy a key, then we use one more tool called WinSCP. Okay, WinSCP. Don't worry, that is actually not so important. Okay, in upcoming classes, whenever we get time, I'll add this one also. But you remember any one, we are using mobile extreme. Actually, in mobile extreme, we have a advantage called we can drag and drop a key that you won't get in a putty. So for putty, we have to use WinSCP tool separately. Okay. So do one thing, you remind me whenever you get time, that time I will explain that one. Not so important. Okay, I will explain. That's not a big issue. Okay.
Hello, Sai. I have mentioned that the billing part also. That invoice I have sent you in your WhatsApp.
See, when you get any bill, what you do? You go to billing dashboard. Okay, you go to my bill dashboard. Sorry. If you get any mail, such kind of mail, what you do? Go to support. Sorry, right side you can see support, right? Support center. Create case. First of all, why you get bill? By mistake, if you forget to terminate any of your resources, then you get bill. Because you should not get bill. Actually, you are in free time. But if you forget to terminate anything, you are using something which are not coming under filter, that time we get bill. So even though if you get a bill, even though if you get any bill, if you get a mail that, hey, if you don't pay the bill, your account will be suspended. Reminder mails you can ignore. But if you get this kind of bill mail that if you don't pay the bill, your account will be suspended. If you get this mail, then you follow my procedure. Go to support center. They create a case. Now here you can see account and billing support. Here you choose a FreeTire, whatever, anyone you can choose. Select category. Okay, is my FreeTire expired? Why was I billed something? Okay, so here you mention that I got so and so bill. I got so and so bill. Here in description you mentioned clearly that I'm a student. I don't know how to use AWS resources. Just now I have created, few days back I created AWS account. Unfortunately, I got so and so bill. Could you please waive off my bill? Could you please waive off my bill? And submit. If you press submit, whatever bill that got generated, they will waive off your entire bill. But it happens only for the first time. Second time onwards, make sure that after launching any instances, creating any resources, don't forget to terminate the things. Understood? Right? Yeah.
Hi, Sai.
Yes, please.
Sai, we created NACL customized one, right, for subnets.
Right.
So by default, we have an NACL for private subnet, right? So
yeah,
instead of having the default NACL to private subnet, but still those private subnet will follow the rules of customized NACL.
I mean, see, here in this example, let's take blue one is my default NACL. That anyways that got connected to private subnet, correct? Anyways, that's a default behavior, right? Okay, now I'll continue with your question. Now you ask your question.
Yeah, we attach the customized NACL to public subnet. So this private subnet will follow the rules of the customized NACL.
No. It has the rules of default only. But if someone wants to enter here, suppose I want to enter. So first I need to enter into this one. Then only I can go correct or through bastion and all, right? That means this door is protecting. This is more than enough. Understood? This default will be attached by default. That is how it works. But it's of, for us, it's of no use actually. Got it?
Okay.
Any more doubts?
Hello, Sai. Sai, you said that we will give the IP addresses to block the hackers, right?
Right.
Every time it will be changed, right? How
yes.
Can we?
Yeah, that's a ethical hacking team. They give the list every now and then. So that we need to add. Okay. Same like, phone numbers. I told you, right? Phone numbers also they can change, right? But every now and then government releases that number. So that we should be, yes, we should careful that, yes, if you get that, they sometimes they give series. Hey, you give, if you get IP address, so that in series also. Okay, sometimes the ethical hacking team they give, right? Based on that, we need to block.
Okay, yeah, every day or weekly they will give.
That depends, how big your company is and which project, how many hackers are scanning and all, that's all.
What if we reach that 99 mark completely?
You can change the number, right? You increase the number. So, see,
it was just creating conflict with HTTP.
That you change the numbers of all these. Simple. I understood that. Let me explain. Show you. See here. Yeah. Public NAC. Okay. Edit mode. Here, what you just change the number. You can change any port number. See, already HTTP you are giving 200. Okay. HTTP hello you are giving 200. Now you want to block some 300 IP addresses. What do you do? Here you allow make it 500. You add 300 number that you change that number. Rule number you can change anytime, right? That's not a big issue. Got it?
Okay. Yeah. So a continuation like this. We given 1 to 100. This is for SSH to block 99 from so 100 to 200. So if we given 200 for HTTP, from 100 onwards to till 200, we have provision to block HTTP.
1 to 200 only. In between, you don't use this 100th number.
Okay.
Like that. Okay. See, if you want to block any IP, okay. So whatever port you are opening, right? what output you are opening.
Correct me if I wrong.
Yeah, sure.
So here you have given 500, right?
Hmm.
So from now, if I get any email that if you block this IP address, then I can take except these two numbers like 100
Yes.
and 192. Okay.
Exactly. Correct.
I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, that's it. That's it pretty much. It's not so tough topic. It's easy only. Just you need to revise the things. Okay. So in our project, you will get better idea that actually how we are going to see. Now we are learning everything separately. EC2 separately, VPC, S3, IAM and all. In our project, everything I'm going to keep inside VPC only. Auto scaling, load balancing. See, now we are launching everything manually, right? See, instances and all. No, later on we keep auto scaling, load balancing. Everything here only inside VPC. A number of things we are going to do. From that, I'm going to make a big project. Got it? So to understand that, you should understand these and VPC classes. Okay. Fine, guys. That's it for today. Thank you all. See you in tomorrow's class, same time. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.